podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on the Premier Networks on Saturday, July 3rd, 2021. This is episode 1810. Just a programming note, tomorrow, the 4th of July, the staff has taken the day off, so am I. So no podcast tomorrow, but we'll be back next week. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by IT Pro TV. CompTIA's A+ is the key to your IT career. And as the official video training partner for CompTIA, IT Pro TV will help you get certified. Visit itpro.tv/twit for an additional 30% off all consumer subscriptions for the lifetime of your active subscription. All you have to do is use the code TWIT30 at checkout. Well, hey, how are you today? I'm here, Leo Laporte, the tech guy, here to help, here to rescue you from whatever conundrums tech has gotten you into. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number if you want to talk and get some counseling, some tech counseling. 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. Outside that area, you could still call, but you got to use Skype or something like that. Should be toll free. Yeah. 8888 Ask Leo. I tell you this at the beginning of the show so you know, for future reference, the website is techguylabs.com, and that's because everything I say will be there. So I want you to know ahead of time. You don't have to write anything down. James DeRuvo's doing it all for you. techguylabs.com. That's free, no sign up, nothing to do. Just go, enjoy, have a wonderful time. All the answers to all the questions will be there, plus all the audio and the video after the fact. And what else? Everything is going to be there. So you don't have to remember any of it. Let's see. What's going on? More ransomware? Yes. There's a new ransomware out there. Kaseya is called. Actually, I don't know if it's new. It's just a new name to me. I think actually it's another name for a different ransomware that's been around for a while. However, they found a new way of getting it into your system. The Kaseya ransomware is being spread via what they call a supply chain attack. So the Kaseya Security Institute, this is the REvil ransomware gang, REvil. Or REvil. I don't know. REvil? I guess REvil. We are evil. Kaseya is a remote management platform used by a lot of MSPs, managed service providers. In other words, contract IT professionals. Somebody's coming in and managing your IT or your servers or that kind of thing. They use Kaseya for remote management. And Kaseya has been hacked, so it's estimated that maybe as many as, thousands of MSPs have now become your worst nightmare. REvil disables your local antivirus solution, if you have one, then deploys a fake Windows Defender app that runs the actual ransomware binary that encrypts the victim's files. And so the first big victim this weekend, Sweden's largest supermarket chain, has shut down nearly 800 stores across the country. Yes, its contractor, its managed service provider, got it through Kaseya, and he gave it to them. So we'll see what happens. This is just the beginning, I think. The grocery store had to shut down because their cash registers and self-serve stations went down, so nobody could take payments. So the stores are closed today. They're hoping to reopen maybe tomorrow. Anyway, not an auspicious beginning to our 4th of July weekend, is it? If you were a Kaseya customer, take your system offline Okay, got it. Thanks for the warning. These supply chain attacks are hard to handle. So the supply chain, that phrase means that you are getting attacked by something that you are using, which is in its turn been hacked. And that's so it's SolarWinds, the big SolarWinds hack that affected a lot of United States cabinet level departments, the military and so forth. SolarWinds was a security provider, supply chain security provider that got hacked, and then that hack got passed along. Now the same thing with Kaseya. I thought I'd let you know. The oldest person in space, Wally Funk. She was the United States' first female Federal Aviation Administration inspector. Her formal name is Mary Wallace Funk, but they all call her Wally. She's in July 20th. She's going to go up at the age of 82, older by 5 years than John Glenn, who was the oldest person in space, along with Jeff Bezos, the departing CEO of Amazon. Tomorrow, I think, or Monday is his last day. And his brother, Mark Bezos, and another auction winner, Wally Funk. In a video on Instagram, Jeff Bezos asked Funk what she will say when they return to Earth after spending 4 minutes in zero gravity. They're not going orbital. They're doing what Alan Shepard did. They're going up and down. But after 4 minutes in zero gravity, she says, "I will say, honey, that's the best thing that ever happened to me." And then she gave Bezos a hug. She was a member of the Mercury 13, a team of 13 American women. You may remember this, seeing this in history or in the fictionalized Apple Plus TV program. She was a member of the Mercury 13, 13 American women who got astronaut training in the early 60s, but could not become astronauts because NASA said you have to be a military fighter pilot, and only men are military fighter pilots. So it's kind of cool that she's finally, all this time, 60 years later, she's finally going to get to go in space, one of the Mercury 13. She said, by the way, Bezos, who announced, I'm going to go into space, the first billionaire in space, there's a record too. He's going to do it on July 20th. So who said, hold my beer? Richard Branson, the billionaire owner of the Virgin mega group. He owns Virgin Galactic. He's going up. He said, all right, in that case, I'm going up 9 days earlier, July 11th. Same kind of thing. Up and down. Just up and down. Billionaires in space. If you think your company's IT is a mess, don't worry, it's kind of common. If your IT at home is a mess, it's kind of common. IBM, you'd think they know IT, right? IBM, for a year and a half has been planning to migrate their email, and it's just gone off the rails. It's been a disaster. According to the Register, IBM's planned company-wide email migration has gone off the rails, leaving many employees unable to use email or schedule calendar events, and this has been going on for several days. One employee wrote to the Register, "I feel bad for bringing this to the press, but I'm afraid I'm the only one of many thousands of that big blue who are utterly disgruntled. If we can't even handle our own cloud migration program, why would any customer trust us?" Oh, yeah, that's right. IBM's primary business is helping people with their technology. IBM social media, one IBMer wrote, "Every IBMer has descended into a dark, chaotic pit of not being able to access email and calendars for the past 3 days, wondering where we are." You know, if lack of email is putting you in a dark, chaotic pit, maybe you ought to get a life, you know? Hey, go home, enjoy the weekend, take a walk, breathe the fresh air. IBM actually makes an email program that I used to use called, remember Lotus Notes? They call it IBM Notes now. They're moving away from that, ironically. Yikes. I'm going to talk about this with Scott. Scott's coming up in just a little bit, our home theater guru. LG is about to release its first QNED TVs, their first micro LED, mini, not micro. Micro's not ready yet. Mini LED TVs. QNED stands for Quantum Nanocell Mini LED. Wait a minute, that's not QNML is not QNED. Okay, but QNED isn't a very good acronym, so they're going to call it QNED. I think Scott actually has mentioned this in the past, but it's now official. There'll be a 4K TV, the QNED 90, and 8K TV, the QNED 99. Yikes. And finally, before we get to the phones, let's congratulate Norway. There's a new law. I think this is not a bad idea, although it would never fly in the U.S. A new law in Norway saying if you're an influencer on Instagram or any other social network and you retouch your photos to look better, you've got to put a notice on there. You got to label retouched photos in a bid to fight unrealistic beauty standards. Well, this has only been going on in magazines for 50 years. You think that cover page on Vanity Fair or Vogue is unretouched? Well, anyway, a landslide vote on June 2nd, 72-15, the Norwegian legislators passed this law. The King of Norway decides when it goes into effect. Yeah, we have a king. The King of Norway. Advertisements where a body's shape, size, or skin has been retouched, even through a filter, will need a standardized label designed by the Norwegian Ministry of Children and Family Affairs. Examples of manipulations requiring labeling include enlarged lips, narrowed waist, exaggerated muscles. They call it, in Norway, they call it kroppspress, or body pressure, a.k.a. beauty standards. You know what? Chill, man. No one looks like that. You don't have to look like that, but it does impact people, so I understand. I get it. Every time I see Kim Kardashian, I say, why isn't my butt that big? No, I don't. No, I honestly don't. 8888 Ask Leo, that's the phone number. 888-827-5536, toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. Outside that area, you could still call me. In fact, I'd love to still hear from you. 888-827-5536, toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. Again, outside that area, don't worry, you can do it, but you can still do it, but you got to use Skype or something like that. Kim, you have to stop using that beauty filter, or you're going to have to start using the King of Norway's special rubber stamp.
What?
You didn't hear that story. They've passed a law in Norway that says influencers on Instagram and elsewhere, if they use any filters or beauty filters, they have to put a notice on the thing saying, I don't really look like this. I've used a filter.
Yeah, I just heard you say that. I didn't, yeah. I'm not.
You're not using any filters? Come on. Oh, that's not possible.
No, I'm so happy I'm not 20.
I know. Can you imagine the pressure?
Well, I am so annoyed by somebody that has to take a selfie every day of their outfit. I'm just like, oh, I'm glad I missed that whole era. Yeah. I'm glad there was no Facebook in high school.
Both my kids who are in their 20s are trying hard to be influencers. And I said, get a job.
Yeah, get a job. Exactly.
That's like saying, I want to be in the NBA.
It would be nice to get paid for doing nothing, but don't get me wrong.
Nice. No one said it wouldn't be nice. She is a woman. I don't know if she is woman. She is a woman. One of many, I hear.
And usually if I'm roaring, it's not in this context.
Kim Schaffer, hear her roar as she answers the phone. Hello!
Yeah, do not do that to me.
No.
You don't want to hear it.
No. Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Happy 4th of July weekend.
Yes. I won't see any fireworks. But.
No, you can I'm going to tell you right now, take the day off tomorrow.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's very nice of you.
So Marin, your home county is not fireworking?
No.
Gosh. We are here in Little Petaluma.
Petaluma, yeah. And, ours are done over water and they're low level usually.
They should do yours. They
should still do them, but I think they're still trying to discourage crowds.
Our fire department is going to spray 20,000 gallons of water over the tinder, the dry tinder that is.
Where are they getting this water?
Brush. I don't know. We don't have any water.
We don't have any water, so
over the dry tinder, so that if the fireworks sparks come to Earth, they will hit moistened grass.
Yeah, Sonoma's always been a lot more liberal with fireworks. You guys sell them up here. Maybe
well, they
not
don't sell them
year,
anymore. No. They stopped. So they took advantage of that. So they in COVID last year, they said, "Oh no, because it was all for charity, so they're having a hard time stopping the Safe and Sane fireworks sale." And but then COVID, so they said, "Okay, we stop." And now they said, "Yeah, let's keep doing that."
The island in Washington I went to, there were stands everywhere.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I understand it's legal in Pennsylvania. So
Pennsylvania, okay.
Well, 1776, baby.
Yeah.
So no, I'm looking forward to the 4th of July. It's going to be a lot of fun. Going to a barbecue, going to watch fireworks. It's going to be fun.
Going to a barbecue, not sure about the fireworks. Maybe I'll see them on my drive home.
I've been playing Neil Diamond's "America" over and over again.
He's coming
to America. Who should I?
Let's go to Johnny in Atlanta.
Thank you. Before I burst into song. Hello, Johnny. Thank you, Kim. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hello, Leo. Good to talk to you again.
Nice to talk to you. What's up in your life?
Oh, well, thanks to you. I've been listening to you for quite a few years.
Usually that's the beginning of a dangerous. The next thing is going to be bad. What? Thanks to me, what?
Well, I started using LastPass.
Oh, good.
Probably about 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, good. That's a good thing. Yeah.
So I find it to be a lifesaver.
Yes.
Because I'm an IT professional and have all these accounts, all my professional accounts, all my personal accounts. So I can't imagine life without a password manager. And I've been very happy with LastPass, even though it's changed a lot over the last few years as far as the pricing policy. So anyway, Leo, I am one of the IT volunteers, one of the lead IT volunteers for my church.
Okay.
Here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And so we are their IT is managed by an outside company. They're Windows Active Directory and stuff like that. So they recently completed implementing a security policy where each of the staff members, and there's about 10 staff members, by the way. They now have to use, like a second factor authentication.
Good.
For getting onto the network. Yeah, I think they're using an authenticator or something. Yeah, that was great. Yeah. So that got me thinking that we have about 20 to 25 what I call shared accounts. In other words, they're accounts that mainly a primary user would use, but sometimes a volunteer, another staff member would need it.
Okay.
For instance, a lot of our social media.
Okay. Yeah. We do the same thing. We have a social media team that posting, and they have to have access to my credentials, people like that. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So the way that's being shared as far as the account access and logins is they're usually a spreadsheet, if not.
No, stop.
Spreadsheet. I know. Hey.
Stop the insanity. That's one of the reasons to use a password manager. LastPass, like most password managers, has a password sharing feature that can be done securely. In fact, you can share the password without giving them the password. So they don't have they don't have it. They just have the auto login, and they can't modify it and so forth. So they can't they can't copy it and use it elsewhere and stuff like that. Plus, you can change it and take away their credentials should they leave. All of that is really the preferred way to do it. A spreadsheet is very, very risky. Hang on, got to take a break. Scott Wilkinson coming up. Sorry about that. Had to do that, but that's okay. You're still on. What can I...
Well, I have actually been evaluating business, and the company that we use, that the church used to manage the IT network, actually supports implementing LastPass, of course, for an additional.
Oh, that's wonderful. Good.
So, we're looking at the cost of that and the viability of it. And so I decided to go ahead and just get myself familiar with that version since I'm very familiar with the personal version. And so I think I downloaded business and, set up some dummy accounts.
It's very similar. Yeah, we use it at work. That's what we use for our enterprise. Yeah.
And so my question to you, too, is like there's two different versions. There's the Teams version and the business version. And I'm not sure, like I said, which would probably be the best option for the church. Since, it is I'm looking at, LastPass's plans. I didn't know if you were familiar with.
They were an advertiser last year. They got acquired and they stopped advertising. So I have not kept up to date on their various things. I mean, since your MSP's already using it, I think that's probably the way to go.
Right.
Let me look at their business plans real quickly. Oh, so Teams is just smaller. That's all. Yeah, basically,
and it's a little cheaper too.
Yeah, Yeah, I would. I think that's Yeah,
probably 10 users. So
yeah, I think that sounds reasonable. You could still use multi-factor. That doesn't, even though they have these SSO and multi-factor add-ons for business, that doesn't mean you can't use them for Teams. In fact, I think there's good reasons not to use. I'm kind of a believer in not putting all your eggs in one basket. So I never used LastPass's Authenticator or MFA. I always did it through a second party like Authy or Google, just to separate those out. It's not harder, but that way it's a little. Go ahead.
I have a question for you. One of the staff members tried to turn on, or did turn on, two-factor authentication for one of our accounts, like our Gmail account. And I asked him to turn it back off because I'm thinking, well, even if we use LastPass and we got shared access, if that person is turning on two-factor authentication where it's going to a device that they only have access to, doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of using two-factor in that case of a shared account?
Well, that's the problem with a shared account. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's interesting. What would be the best practices? You definitely want to use two-factor, but if it's shared, then you'd have to share the secret, which you could do so that everybody could have the authenticator. That might be marginally more secure. I don't know. Let me ask our IT guys in the chat room. And
here's what I was thinking is that when we implement this, that we take time to go into each account and we let LastPass generate some big obscure password, correct? And so that when the accounts get pushed down to the users for use through their LastPass, setup, that they would only go to these accounts using LastPass and let it fill in the passwords. So
yes.
There is no.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem, the reason you do two factors is the second point of failure. So if the password gets somehow, in an unknown way, leaks out, you have this second barrier. But it happens all the time. Brianna Wu, good friend of ours who ran a congressional campaign, had a very long 64-character password on a congressional campaign, but was using Google's, extra secure system. And the bad guys somehow got the password, but the second factor kept them out. The pipeline ransomware hack happened because they left a VPN system they were no longer using alive and had not required two-factor. So when an ex-employee's passwords got discovered, they were able to get in, even though that VPN system was no longer being used. They'd left it open. It was a terrible IT failure. And they hadn't deactivated the employee's account, and they hadn't required two-factor. All of the above, any of the above would have fixed that problem. It cost them millions.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Hold on, because I got to run here. We got to do Scott. But hold on, I can talk to you some more a little bit. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, Leo.
We don't have to talk about QNED, but if you don't want to.
No, it's totally fine. Totally fine.
What is hip? This cat right here, man. He is Scott Wilkinson, our home theater geek, contributor at techhive.com. And he is our hipster Santa. Hello, Scott.
Hey, Leo.
How are things in your world today?
Oh, things are great.
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th tomorrow. Yes, indeed. I hope you have a great barbecue and Safe fireworks.
We're we're not doing our own, of course, which we've done in the past, but we can't do those anymore. But
Man,
we're going to be on
a
friend's roof watching the
that'll be good.
The civic fireworks. Yeah.
I mean, here in LA, we've been seeing news items one after another about literally tons of illegal fireworks being found and confiscated.
Oh, it's a mess. It's a mess.
An entire house blew up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of ridiculous.
It's really a war zone here was in Petaluma when we had the Safe and Sane. And we're close enough to San Francisco where fireworks are legal in Chinatown.
Of course.
Because of Chinese New Year. And they have some really powerful fireworks. And they somehow make their way up here. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. Scott's
we're not here to talk about fireworks, no.
Home theater guru. He wants to talk about fireworks on your big screen TV and your surround sound. I was watching the new Amazon Prime movie Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. Is it good?
Yeah, it's wonderful. And
okay.
It is very, very loud. And my subwoofer was working overtime, man. It was I wouldn't recommend it in an apartment, but if you've got a good sound system, you're going to enjoy it. It was really loud.
Yeah. One thing I was thinking of was fireworks in HDR. High dynamic range.
Beautiful. Still not as good as the real thing, are they?
Not as good as the real thing. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I heard you mention earlier in the show today that
QNED.
LG QNED.
So we knew this was coming, I think, but it became official this week when LG said we are going to start releasing mini LED TVs, and they're going to use a acronym that doesn't make any sense at all.
It makes no sense.
QNED.
It makes no sense. Even worse, there is actually a meaning of the acronym QNED, which LG is not using.
Yeah.
Which is really
there's no quantum involved here.
No, there is.
It is. Okay, so there's the Q.
Yes. The Q is for quantum dots, and those are part of the backlight system to give you a wider color range and a brighter, more light coming out.
And the mini LEDs are so small you can have thousands. I know I have a mini LED iPad, and it has, I think, 10,000 LEDs in the back, a 12.9-inch screen, but there's 2,500 zones.
Right. Well, that's the same thing with the QNED 99, the 86-inch 8K. You mentioned it has 30,000 mini LEDs behind it.
Holy cow.
And they've divided that into 2,500 local dimming zones, which is far more than any local dimming LCD TV. So these are an improvement, but they're not what you think they are. And I was just reading an article on Digital Trends, which was talking about this very issue of the nomenclature and what QNED really should mean. And Samsung, in fact, announced that they're working on it, is quantum dot nano LED emitters. So tiny little LED and direct emission with quantum dots. But that's several years away. And what Digital Trends claims is that LG has confiscated or absconded with this term QNED and started using it first for something that isn't really QNED.
Oh.
So it's LG versus Samsung, the two Korean behemoths, at it again.
Now, they both now offer mini LEDs. LGs are coming next month. I guess the question to ask is, they're less expensive than OLED.
Correct.
Which is still the king of the hill in picture quality, yes?
Correct, yes. The only thing that that LED TVs have over OLED is brightness. OLED TVs typically are in the 600 to 700 nit range, and that's just take that for some arbitrary value to compare with LEDs, which are typically at least 1,000, nowadays maybe 2,000 nits, so they're like twice as bright as OLEDs. That's the only advantage that LCDs have over OLEDs. And now we have LG QNED, which is actually not bad. 65-inch 8K for $3,500. Now, the question brings up the question, can you really see 8K resolution on a 65-inch screen?
Even more, where would you get the content?
There is no 8K content, except for a little bit on YouTube.
Yeah, but I don't think YouTube 8K is going to be 8K.
No, well, it might
Is there
be,
is there a UHD format for Blu-ray that gives you 8K? No.
Nope.
There's no 8K Blu-ray.
Nope. There will be some broadcasting in Korea and Japan.
Like the Olympics, there might be 8K Olympics, right?
Yeah.
But you'd have to
Stuff
stream
like
it, and of course, in order to stream 8K, you'd have to compress the heck out of it, which means it might not look any better than 4K.
That's right.
Even if you had the 8K TV. All right.
You got that right.
All of this acronym stuff is driving me
It's crazy.
Crazy.
It's totally crazy. Yes.
So
I should write an
Samsung
article about that.
calls theirs the Neo QLED.
Right.
LG calls it the QNED.
Yeah.
There is OLED, and I think they're sort of confusing the thing with OLED and QNED and QL.
And QLED
LED.
or QLED, yes, which both Samsung and LG adopted QLED to mean a quantum dot-based backlight LCD TV.
There's a significant difference. There's a bigger difference between LED backlit or any LCD screen and OLED. The biggest difference is OLED is direct view. You're looking at
it's what's called an emissive display. Each pixel emits its own light.
You're looking at the colors directly. On any LCD TV, including QNED and Q whatever, you're looking through shutters, which are the LCD shutters, at a backlight. And that's why they're all the efforts being put into these backlight technologies.
Correct. That's exactly correct.
But do you think QNED from LG is, I mean, it's a lot less expensive. Should people consider it? It's brighter, I guess.
It's brighter. It's brighter, and the backlight technology is significantly better than previous generations.
Yeah.
No question.
So if you're looking at LCD, definitely look at QNED.
Yeah. And just forget about the stupid acronym.
Honestly, it's gotten out of control, and I'm starting to think these companies are trying to confuse consumers. I mean, if you're listening now, are you confused? I know I am. It's really confusing. You have to make a spreadsheet to figure out what is what, and you can you go in this? I guess now we can go into stores, which is a big change.
Yeah, now we can. Yeah.
Can you go into a store and look at these and see the difference?
No, you could potentially, but the problem there is that the store floor models are rarely set up to look their best. They're set up to look their brightest.
Right. And it's, there's fluorescent lighting in the store. It's bright.
Yeah. You've got Klieg lights overhead, and you don't have that in your theater or in your living room or anywhere else that you're going to put a TV.
That's why I like Magnolia, and some of Best Buy had that special viewing room where they, it was a little darker and it was better.
Exactly, exactly. That was very nice. I guess some Best Buys still have that.
Good.
And certainly that's where you'd want to go to look at TVs.
Yeah.
If you could.
I
have to say, as a reviewer, I'll sound a little self-serving here, but really the best thing to do in your research is to read reputable reviews.
Like at techhive.com, where Scott writes.
Well, for example.
Yes. Okay. We know yours. Is there where else should I go?
Oh, sure. I really like Rtings. RTINGS.
Ratings without the A,
Ratings without the A. I really like that one.
Okay.
So that would be another one to go to.
Scott Wilkinson, Home Theater Geek. He's at techhive.com, joins us every week to talk about TV and surround and all that. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Yeah, you go into Costco, Big Island Aloha's saying this, and I agree. It all looks the same because it's so hard to tell the difference.
Oh, it's it's impossible. It's really impossible to tell the difference.
It's just such a hostile environment, and you would be able to perhaps at home. It's just that you can't in this.
Yeah, you can't take 4 or 5 TVs home and look at them side by side.
Yeah, I agree with you. You got to just read the reviews and do the best you can.
Yep, afraid so. Actually, this was a good topic. I'm glad you brought it up because this whole QNED and acronym thing.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
They're out of control.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I once wrote.
I did the Odyssey on my new receiver, right? My Atmos receiver.
Yeah.
And it has, I did the whole thing and really let it do its levels and everything. And on a lot of things, the mix is not good. I can't hear. So I boosted the center channel 3 dB. Like this Tomorrow War, if I turn it up enough so I could hear the dialogue, We practically blew up the house. I'm not kidding. The walls were shaking. So I boosted the center channel a little more than Odyssey said, just because I wanted to hear the dialogue without turning it up so much.
Yep. That's what you do.
I guess so. Because,
Exactly
it wasn't just me. I know I'm old, but even Lisa said, I can't understand the dialogue. So I turned it up, and then I think they mixed it really loud.
I think I wouldn't be at all surprised, and I've heard other mixes, particularly on CBS. I watched a few CBS shows in my time, and the mixes there, I had to do the same thing. I had to really turn up the center channel because they just mixed the dialogue low, and I have no idea why, and it's very frustrating. And then I have to try this Tomorrow War. Is it a movie or a series?
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
The premise is that aliens are invading the Earth 50 years from now. So somehow, with a little hand waving, they've created a time tunnel back to our time because they've run out of soldiers in 50 years, and they're bringing people from the past into the future to fight the war against these aliens.
All right.
But that's just the premise. It's actually it's a family movie.
What?
It's got a little humor in it. Chris Pratt's great, and it's got a good cast. And it's a good action movie for people who like action movies. It's great.
Sure.
It's a heck of an action movie.
All right.
With a very bad alien. It's a little bit like Aliens. It's good.
Ooh. Yeah. I never watched the Alien movies because they were just too gross and creepy.
This is not as creepy.
I mean,
it's not scary.
Maybe aliens popping out of chests.
It's not stuff like that. No. There's no. I think they really are. I'm not kidding. Trying to make a family movie here. It's a little weird. You'll see what I mean when you watch it. But
I'll watch it.
It's fun. You like action movies. It's a good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because it's an Amazon original. And
okay.
Yeah.
All right. And is it in high dynamic range?
I probably is. We watched it on the Hisense, so.
Which isn't.
Isn't. Yeah, I could watch it. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Why would they make it not high dynamic
Why would they
range?
make it not? No, it would have to be.
It's cheaper actually to film it nowadays on digital cameras that automatically do that, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If they shot it on a Red or
you just get it
Black
for
Magic
free or Alexa, you get it for free.
Yeah, Alexa. Right, exactly.
But I don't know. That's actually been an interesting topic, is the economics of filmmaking.
Sure.
Because maybe they have a lot of post-processing they've got to do or something like that. I don't know.
Well, it does take more data because you're shooting in 10-bit instead of 8.
Right.
Or maybe even 12.
Right. I don't know. Hey, got to run. Stay for the top.
You betcha.
Our show today brought to you by IT Pro TV. My good friends Tim Broom and Dom Pezzett. They were the founders. I first met them many years ago. I was doing a panel talking about the new kind of broadcasting, internet broadcasting. They were very interested. Turns out they were IT trainers doing it in a traditional classroom setting, and they were thinking, boy, wouldn't it be cool if we could do IT training over the internet? IT Pro TV was born at that panel, and now, some years later, they have blown it out of the park. They launched in 2013, shortly after that panel. They now have 7 studios, running Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, nonstop. They're down in Gainesville, Florida. It is amazing. It is amazing what they have done. One of the reasons they have so many studios is because this information is always changing. IT is a very fast-moving field. They train people to take the tests, to get the certs, to get their first IT job, and then they train them to give them the information to get recertified, and then they train them to get the information to get better IT jobs, all 3. If you're trying to build a career in IT, you should start with the A+ certificate, the CompTIA A+. That is the kind of the base certificate that says you've got the base knowledge. Fortunately, IT Pro TV is the official video training partner for CompTIA. So not only will you get the certs, you're going to get it from the people who are the best, both at training and entertaining. They call them, what do they call them? Edutainers. Because they're trainers who are experts in the field, also are hired for their ability to engage, to entertain, to keep you entertained. They provide you with the most up-to-date information. They prep you for the exams so that you can get the certs. July is a great month at IT Pro TV. It's CompTIA month. 2 CompTIA-themed webinars this month. On the TechNado podcast, Don Pizzette does. He'll have 2 CompTIA guests. Throughout the month, they'll be giving away CompTIA exam vouchers. And then at the end of the month, Friday, July 30th, 2 p.m., IT Pro TV will be playing CompTIA Jeopardy live. Just test your knowledge. You don't want to miss it. I think that'll be a lot of fun. I bet you Don will be the Alex Trebek for that. 7 studios, 5,800 hours of on-demand IT training. It's the best place for you to learn IT. Get certified in Apple, security skills, Python, Cisco, everything in IT. Security. They also make it easy to get a good IT education because you can do it anytime without leaving your house on your own schedule. They've got apps for Chromecast, Roku, Apple TV, PC, iOS, Android. Watch it on the web. One IT professional said, IT Pro TV has helped me with 2 certifications, also as the supplemental material for my grad school classes. It's actually better than grad school. Give it a try. You won't be disappointed. Well, we're going to make it a special time to join IT Pro TV. CompTIA month. Go to itpro.tv/twit. Use the code TWIT30. You'll get 30% off all consumer subscriptions for the lifetime of your active subscription. That is a great deal. itpro.tv/twit, coupon code TWIT30 for an additional 30% off all consumer subscriptions. IT Pro TV. Build or expand your IT career and enjoy the journey. They've been a great partner for us since 2013. I hope we've been a great partner for them, and I hope you'll check them out. itpro.tv/twit. Thank you, IT Pro TV. Light up the sky. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Something special about this 4th of July, I guess, because we're coming out of a glum year and a half, right? It's going to be special. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888 Ask Leo. Frank is on the line from Santa Ana, California. Hi, Frank.
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Just fine. First time ever I'm talking to you on the phone.
Beautiful. Thank you for calling. I appreciate it.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th.
Here's my problem, okay? I got hacked on Facebook.
Uh-oh.
Who would want to hack me? It would have to be for, sadistic fun. What they did was they put in another email and substituted for my email. So what I cannot do,
you can't recover it.
I can't send photographs onto it.
Well, you need to get it back.
I want to get it back. I can't even use my password.
Yeah. So if I'm going to hack you, the first thing I'm going to do is change your password and your recovery email so you can't change it back. That's why it's also good to provide a phone number, if possible. I don't know if you did that or not as a recovery. And it's also really important to use 2-factor, as we were talking about earlier, to make it so that even if they got your password, they'd have a hard time getting in. Because they could change the password, but then I guess they could turn off the 2-factor. So once they've got your password, once they're in without 2-factor, you're out of luck. All you could do is go to Facebook, and they have a whole process for this. Say my account's been hacked, and they'll make you prove you are who you say you are, with a picture of you and a driver's license, that kind of thing. And
no problem.
Yeah, and Facebook's big, and they have 3 billion users. So thank you for calling Facebook. Your number 78,942 in the queue. We'll be with you on Friday. No, you do it all by email, and just cross your fingers. They have a very, very big team of people, I'm sure, handling this. It happens all the time. But in future, turn on 2-factor, have a phone number. Pardon me?
I couldn't even get a Facebook phone number.
Yeah. Okay. No, they don't do it. Because imagine how many people, if they gave out a phone number, call 1-800-Facebook and good luck. So you have to do it via email. There's another feature which I think Facebook has that's unique and it's interesting called Trusted Contacts, where you can assign to friends or family the name Trusted Contact, and you can do a recovery by saying to them, okay, Facebook's going to contact you and say, hey, Frank says he lost his account. Did he? And they say yes, and then you can get it back that way. Turn that feature on as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is a mess. It is a mess all the way around. Yeah, you did, and you raised the interesting point. Why would anybody do this? And they're not making, there's several reasons people hack, mostly to make money these days. It used to be in the old days, it was just for the fun of it. They were kids and just messing around because they could. But now it really is a business, and that's why ransomware and so forth. So maybe they're using your account to scam people. That's common. You should tell your friends, hey, that's not my Facebook account's been hacked. So if you get a message from me, one thing they often do is they send out messages saying, oh man, this is Frank. I thought I'd travel and I went down to Mexico and I'm in jail for a trumped up charge and I need $5,000 bail. Can you Western Union it to me? Or sometimes they even say, can you go down to 7-Eleven and get some money cards and send them to me? And so that's one thing they do. So you should certainly let friends and family know that's not me right now on Facebook. So they don't get scammed, in other words. And people fall for this. It's sad to say all the time. The other thing that may be sadistic, there's a small number of people in the world who probably abused as children, and they like to inflict pain on other people. And it could be that's what they're doing. Are they posting as you? Do you know?
I don't know if they're posting as me. Okay, it's just that part I just don't know.
Yeah. So ask a friend who follows you on Facebook, what are they doing with my account? The other thing you might see them doing is, and this is, this is unfortunately what's happening from Russian troll farms and other countries where they want to influence our politics. They hack accounts and use it to post stories and to boost stories. It may simply be that all they wanted was your account so they could looking like real people like other people's posts to help boost stories across Facebook. That's literally one of the things that's going on. In fact, there was a story just the other day about these Russian troll farms. Just all they're doing is trying to guess passwords because they're just trying to get in. If they can guess passwords, they're Russian. This is from Ars Technica. Russian hackers are trying to brute force hundreds of networks. It's Fancy Bear. It's the Russian, kind of the equivalent of Russian secret police. Thursday, the NSA, FBI, DHS, and the UK's National Cybersecurity Center issued a joint advisory warning saying that the GRU, the Russian military intelligence, has been trying to hack in by guessing passwords. So these guys, they have a lot of different agendas. You're being used, obviously. I would tell your friends you might be scammed. And then just, it may take a while, but Facebook does have an account recovery process. We'll put a link in the show notes to Facebook's account recovery. There's no phone number. It's not going to happen overnight. That's why you should tell everybody what's happened. So, good luck. That's all I can say. It's not an easy thing to do, alas. Barry, Simi Valley, California. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Barry.
Hi, Leo.
Welcome.
My question is, here's what happened. I smashed my wife's iPhone XR off the ground, completely destroyed it.
You didn't do it on purpose, did you?
Well, yeah.
Wow. That must have been quite a little tussle going on there. Now you feel bad, right? You want to get it back.
Exactly. Well, see, the problem is it wasn't backed up. I completely destroyed it, tried to replace the glass. No matter what, it won't turn on. I'm just trying to get the photos up.
Oh, I'm glad you made up, Barry. Oh, well, let's help you here. So the first thing to do is if you go to a repair shop and see if they can not try to repair the phone, but just get the data off of it. They have a tool that plugs into the lightning port and will attempt to get the data.
I did, and
and they said they can't get it.
Yeah.
That's bad news. That means you broke it so badly that the circuitry has been damaged.
Exactly. Yeah. I smashed it pretty hard.
Oh, Barry. Oh, you've kissed and made up since, though, right? But now you want to make it good. Good for you.
Yeah, I was reading about those data recovery.
Yeah, they won't help you with an iPhone. The problem is, so it's all stored on a chip.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's possible that the chip itself, in fact, this could be, that the chip itself is intact. It's just a memory chip. But the motherboard, the circuitry connecting to it got broken.
Exactly.
So I don't know if there's anybody. This would be a hard thing to do. They'd have to get the chip off the motherboard. It's surface mounted on there, so it's not a simple thing to get it off. And then you checked iCloud to make sure she didn't have iCloud photos turned on.
Yes, I did.
Oh man, Barry, I want to help here. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry you're sleeping on the couch. We're going to get you off the couch. Let me look and see if we can find somebody that'll do this. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. What do you think, chat room? Man, chat room, can you do some research and we'll put it up on the show notes? Is there anybody who does that kind of chip level recovery? I don't think that would be easy. You could try Drive Savers. Call Barry. They have a grief counselor anyway. Call Drive Savers in Novato and see. At least talk to him. Wow, that must have been some knockdown fight, huh? Every husband knows what that's like.
I don't.
Except for Scott. He's a good person. I've never broken Lisa's phone, but probably only because she would break me. She's stronger than I am, so I can understand the impulse. So, Business Insider has an article. We're going to put this in the show notes. How to recover photos from a broken iPhone if Apple can't help. So, yeah, boy. Whew. I mean, theoretically, it's possible. I just don't know if anybody does this. Go ahead, Scott.
Or if it would be cost effective, would be practical.
I think it sounded like Barry would be willing to spend anything to get off the couch.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
CBC interviewed a tech repair shop that said it can and has retrieved photos from broken iPhones. So that's the trick, is they'd have to get that memory chip
and take it off. How do you?
Well, they'd have to somehow access it. Yeah, it's surface mounted on there, so it's not going to be.
It's not like you can desolder it or anything.
No, you can't. Yeah. Well, there's a CBC article, so we'll put that in the show notes. TechGuyLabs.com. All yours, Scott, for 6 minutes and 50 seconds.
Thank you so very much. So, hey, everybody. Always nice to see you. By the way, if you're still listening, I'm going to send a note to John. I'm gone the next 2 Saturdays. And I know you're gone next Saturday.
I am gone next Saturday I'll be here, the 10th.
Oh.
I'm gone the 17th.
Okay. Well, then the 10th will be the only one I miss, and
That's not
sorry
bad.
about that.
No.
But I'm going to be on vacation.
Yeah, you get to have a vacation. It's okay. I give you permission.
Thank you. Going to be in Santa Cruz, your old stomping ground.
Well, I'm not surprised. You love Santa Cruz.
I love Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
I love it.
We'll have fun.
And we're going to go play music, and then after that, a week in Big Sur.
Oh, that's really good. Going to Esalen?
Uh-huh.
Nice. Have a wonderful time.
Thanks. Hey, Loquacious. Good to see you as always. Tech Dino, yes. I'm planning a very happy vacation. We've been working really hard, my wife and I, on music for the Jewish New Year. And you're going, wait a minute, what? Jewish New Year isn't until September. Well, that's true. But we're doing an online one probably again this year, even though, COVID restrictions are lifting and so on. We've decided discretion is the better part of valor. So we're having to record a bunch of new stuff, which is what we've been working on for the last several weeks. Now it's done. And so we get to go on vacation with a clear conscience, and the recordings are finished, and all is well. And as you say, Mike B., the high holidays will be here before you know it. That is absolutely true. Oh, Lou M.M.'s son has started to play the trombone. Good for him. That's fantastic. How old is he? I always love to hear of new trombone players coming on. Mike B. says his synagogue is going to have in-person services this year. I know a lot of people are, but we're at this point we are not planning to. So it's all going to be online. Compter says, with Harmony gone, Logitech Harmony, the market for systems like Control 4, Savant, and others is growing. I did not know how much a single-room Savant system is till my parents bought one. There aren't very many options in the universal remote market, that's true. And Savant and Crestron and all those are quite a bit more expensive than Logitech. I think Control 4 is probably the least expensive of those types of systems. I would look into that. Lou MM says his son's 11 years old, played the upright bass, cool. Did a 180 and wanted to go to wind. Good man. Absolutely. He plays a PVC trombone. Yeah. I've seen those plastic trombones, and I've actually played one. They're not great, but they're surprisingly good. I've also played a plastic tuba, which is pretty amazing. I do recommend, though, going to brass when you can. People often think, oh, well, he's just beginning, and so he can start on a funky instrument. I disagree. Now, obviously, you don't want to buy a beginning violinist a Stradivarius, but you do want a beginning student of an instrument to have a fairly good instrument, because poor instruments are deficient. You have to fight against them. You have to make compensations to get around their inadequacies and their limitations. And that's especially hard for beginners. So I really recommend getting a decent instrument for beginners so they don't have as much headwind, shall we say, when trying to learn the instrument. If the instrument plays well to begin with, then they can concentrate on developing good embouchure, good breath support, all that stuff, rather than having to fight with a trombone that has a scratchy slide and doesn't really move well. Yes, they're cheap. So maybe if you're just, looking to see if he's interested, maybe, you don't want to buy an expensive trombone if you're not sure. On the other hand, you could rent one for a month or two. Rentals might be a little funky too. It's an interesting question, interesting problem. I do think, though, going to a brass instrument would probably help. Twisted Mister says, URC, Universal Remote Control, is the lowest cost. That's probably true. Those are the guys that are probably going to step into the niche that Logitech Harmony has left open. That's the other big universal remote company. So absolutely, that would be the thing to do. Tech Dino loves the USC marching band. Yeah, me too. on our Tuba Christmas this last year, online Tuba Christmas, we had the USC Tuba Quartet on, and India Anderson, one of the tuba players in that group, was the first female drum major of the USC marching band. So that was pretty cool. Loquacious V2 says, always rent. Well, not always. If you're serious, then you want to buy a good horn and get to know it very well. I've had most of my horns for 40 years, and I know them very well, and know their quirks and idiosyncrasies, and I'm grateful for their strengths. So,
Thank you, Scotty. Have a wonderful time in Santa Cruz, and I'll see you in 3 weeks.
3 weeks? I'll send John a note just to remind him.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smart watches, all that jazz. 8888 Ask Leo, 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. We have a link we'll put in the show notes for, apparently there's a company in Canada who says they can get phone photos off the iPhone even if the iPhone is not working, is destroyed in some cases. So we'll put a link at the show notes at techguylabs.com. I'm also going to put a link in there for you, Barry, to the hotline.org, the National Domestic Violence Hotline. 1-800-799-SAFE. Probably a good idea. Next time, if you feel like destroying your wife's phone, you might want to, I shouldn't laugh, you might want to give them a ring. Or text START to 88788, the National Domestic Violence Hotline, thehotline.org. On to our next call, Kevin in O'Fallon, Missouri. Hello, Kevin. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Leo, how are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Thanks for calling. What can I do to help you?
Hey, I'm
and your birdie.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just.
I love it.
Nice 80-degree day outside.
Yeah, enjoy. Oh, it's not a domesticated. That's a wild fowl out there.
No, this is wild. I am out in nature.
Nice. From the jungle, he's calling the jungle of O'Fallon.
Yeah, this is true.
What can I do for you?
I'm a small business IT manager.
Nice.
And I've run into a browser issue that I'm hoping you can help me with.
Okay.
A couple of weeks ago, or actually a couple of months ago, I tried using Chrome on a Windows 10 PC, and it refused to boot.
What?
And, yeah.
Okay, that's not normal behavior.
No, it is not. Here's
Okay.
the thing. Several of my PCs in the organization have had the same issue. Now, I can install Firefox. I can run old Internet Explorer, but I cannot also run Edge Chromium.
Oh, interesting. So both Edge and Chrome itself. Does the Edge cause you to not be able to boot?
No. So if I try to open Chrome, it'll open several sessions in Task Manager, but it will not actually open. So it just sits there and eats my resources, but it doesn't open.
Huh.
Yeah. So have I stumped you?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not normal. Let's put it that way. If that were the case, it would be a big news story. Chrome does not run on Windows. And, of course, Microsoft makes its Edge, and it is based on the Chromium rendering engine. And if it has the same problem, clearly there's something going on with your system. So let's figure out what's going on locally, because it's not.
Again, this is several machines in my organization. It's not just one. And usually this happened after I bought a new PC. I'm not going to tell you the manufacturer is. But anyway.
Well, I don't care. No reason to hide anybody's flaws.
No. So I would get a new PC. I would get it all up on the network, and I would install everything. I would install Chrome. It would run like the first or second time, and then after that, nothing.
I wonder. And Edge, you just what happens when you do run Edge?
Same thing.
Same thing.
It's not open. So I can always go back to old IE and download Firefox.
Yeah, but you don't want to use IE. I'm glad to know Firefox works, because at least that's a modern browser.
Correct.
So there's something with the Chrome engine. Are you using? Do you put any network level security software or a routine install security software on these systems?
I do. We use Silence, but that doesn't seem to hurt any of the other PCs. Well, like I said, it's kind of sporadic, and it's not like I'm running an application common on every machine. Not every machine has the problem, but it's just kind of hit and miss.
And I don't think Chrome synchronizes extensions. Does it? They were going to do that, and I think they used to do it, and I think they stopped for perhaps this very reason. If you had a malicious extension on one system and you synchronized it, it would then, every time you installed Chrome, by the time it got the sync going, I would look at any extensions you have on Chrome and maybe start up in safe mode. Chrome has a safe mode, you know, and
yeah, I've tried that, and no bueno.
No bueno. Doesn't fix it.
No.
So safe mode launches Chrome without any extensions. If you had a malicious extension and the same thing happens then in safe mode, then it's not that. What could it be? What could it be? Edge does sync extensions. So I'm wondering, I would look at your extensions. I think this is something that would kind of be commensurate with what you're experiencing. It doesn't happen immediately because Chrome doesn't sync the extensions right away, but it does later. I think you might have an extension on there that is causing issues, and it may be a malicious extension.
So I mean, even off a fresh boot.
Well, So you have to so it used to be that when you turned on syncing in Chrome, it would sync extensions, and then they stopped doing that. I think for this reason, but I think they may have re-enabled it. I don't know. I'm worried that that's what's happening. It's the only thing I could think of, and it would it's exactly how it would happen, because the sync doesn't happen right away. You launch Chrome and it goes, oh, let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. You have some extensions, and it might take a little while. Of course, going into safe mode would eliminate those extensions. So I can't think of anything else. It's something that's something you're doing. It's not universal. Otherwise, we'd see this everywhere. Because Chrome's like 90% of the browser market. It's completely dominant. If you add an Edge, it totally is on Windows, the almost entire browser market. And so we'd hear about it if this were a common issue. It's obviously not. So there's something you install, something you do. And because you're the IT guy, there's something you do on these systems that is causing this problem. I just don't know what it would be. My first guess would be extensions. You've done the right things. Maybe there's something do you use Policy Edit?
No, I don't.
Try if you create a new if you create a new profile on that machine, does it do the same thing right away?
I haven't tried that, but if I log in with like a system admin password, I don't know. I certainly could try that.
That might be worth at least seeing, because it might be something not being synced by Chrome, but in fact being synced by Windows. Maybe there's something that's getting installed across Windows. Try a new non-domain local profile to see if that's the case. You got me. I don't know. I'm not surprised you're stumped by it too. This is unusual, but all I can say is this is not a common issue, and it's almost certainly something that is going on locally. But what is the question? Yeah. Do you use WebRoot?
Do not. No.
Okay, somebody in the chat room says, I see this all the time with WebRoot. Very interesting. Make sure your drivers are up to date. Do you use a common build? Do you set up these machines with a common ghost image?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I do not.
So they're clean, normal installs of Windows each time. That's interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Boy, you got me stumped. Keep listening, Kevin. We'll put some suggestions up in the show notes. Maybe somebody will call and say, oh, yes, that happens to me. I don't, you know me, I don't leap to malware all the time on these, but a malicious extension might have this behavior, especially if all these devices are in the same network. Maybe you've got a worm going around. It's usually a bad sign when something crashes and just because you're running a browser. That's not a good sign. 8888 ask Leo if you think if you can tell us. I know what's going on. Okay, only in America, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Although it's a pretty old song, and I don't think as an author you have a shot in heck at making $1 million. But okay, having written 13 books myself, it's not a unless you're Danielle Steele, a money-making proposition. Jack on the line from Huntington Beach, California. We'll have to ask Rich DeMuro about that. Hi, Jack. How are you?
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for calling.
And you remember me, I'm from Huntington Beach, and I remember you've helped my daughters twice, remember?
Nice, I do, yes. Welcome back.
And the older one just got an iPad, just to let you know, and iPad Pro. And the picture on it is incredible.
She got the new one, oh, yeah, really good.
It just got delivered, and she took a picture of her dog, which is a Yorkie, and you could see every single hair that came out of the...
Nice.
I mean, it's just beautiful. Anyway, but then you know what? Her boyfriend took it over because he's doing all our...
Hey, that's not nice.
No, I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, I have today...
Time to get a new boyfriend. That's what I think's going on with that. Get the iPad back first.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Okay, I have a problem for myself.
Okay.
I have a desktop computer, and I've been pretty happy. I noticed I bought it in 2013, 13, but it's got. I mean, I get a high-end computer, so, and it's running Windows 10. Anyway, so at the time, the highest capacity C drive that I could get, which is solid state, was 256 gigabytes.
Wow.
That was the highest. And then I have an E drive. The D drive is recovery. The E drive is a terabyte. So my problem is that the C drive is full.
Yeah.
Almost full. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so the trick is not to use the C drive for anything but Windows and applications, and then use the D drive for your personal files, your documents, and all of that stuff. The stuff you make should go on D. Think of D is for data.
Well, I think I put that on E because that's the terabyte, and the D is a recovery.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. But that the spinning drives, the cheaper drives, the bigger drives, that's where your data should go. 256 should be enough for Windows and its applications.
I agree.
Yeah.
So
you are doing that. You my documents, my pictures, my videos, all of that's on the E drive.
No, I didn't do that.
Oh, that's your problem right there. Yeah. Yeah. So you're Windows 10, right?
It's Windows 10.
Okay. So you need to move the data to the D drive, and this is a little complicated, but you can do it in the Windows Explorer by moving those folders. And you want to probably also tell Windows that you want to use this E drive as from now on as where your documents and settings live.
Okay.
So there's going to be a little bit of a project, but it's not the end of the world. If you go to the documents folder, for instance, that's probably actually figure out what's the biggest folders, move those first. But let's say it's documents. You can right-click on it, select properties. There's a location tab, and you can move it.
Okay.
So you just say move, and you're going to go through folder by folder, the biggest folders, and move those all over the E drive.
Okay.
Once you do that, the official documents folder will stay your documents folder, and Windows should know from now on, oh, don't use that. And by moving it, as opposed to copying it, you're taking it off the old drive and putting it onto the new drive.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think that's gonna be the main thing. Now, sometimes it's useful to find out what's taking up so much space. And there is a really good file space analyzer for Windows that does a great job. It actually visualizes it, called WinDir Stat. Not like Winders, but WINDIR Stat. It's free.
Okay.
And it does it in a kind of colorful way, so you can see where the big blobs are. So you're going to want to I think maybe even do this before you start moving stuff. Figure out why that C drive is so full. I mean, I'm not surprised. 256 gigs nowadays isn't a huge amount.
No.
So, but look and move those folders. But what I'm concerned about is there may be some files that you don't know about. Maybe you have, for instance, 10 movies that you downloaded from Netflix and you haven't yet, erased, something like that. So you want to see if there's some things that you can get rid of to save space.
Right.
I'm a big fan of WinDir Stat because it's free. There are other programs like this. It'll give you a nice, colorful view of what's going on, and I think that's helpful because you'll see when you run it. You can really see what's so big. Move the program. I would suggest keeping program files and Windows over on your C drive because you want that's the fastest drive because it's the SSD.
Right.
So you want to load them. They'll load fast from there, and then I would move data files, which are not as critical, onto the bigger drive. They also tend to be bigger.
Under the C drive, I have a folder called Users. That's using 139 gigabytes.
That's you. So if you look in Users, you'll see your login and any other logins you have on their computer. That's really what you want to do is move that entire Users folder. Now, that's a little trickier. So I'm gonna give you the because you need to tell Windows where your users folder is now. So I don't think, I'm trying to remember, I don't think you can just move it and let that be. I think you need to do that to let Windows know. Let's see, move. I'm just looking real quick. No, I guess you don't have to. Don't move the entire, well, let me see here. Don't move the entire users folder. Just, I'll tell you what, EdBot has a great article here on ZDN at my old friend. And one of the things he talks about is moving your Windows users folder. In the documents properties, you can change the location. I would just change your login, okay? Not because the users folder itself isn't the big thing. It's your login. So move that login over. I'll put this link in the show notes, techguylabs.com. Let me just look at this real quickly. You don't want to move. No. This might be old information from Ed. This is for Windows 8. This is pretty old. I think you can just move the location, to be honest with you. And that will then remember. Let me do a more recent search here. And yes, you probably should back up, but you're backing up, right?
I was, but I'm gonna back up to.
This is a good thing to do before you do all of this.
Yeah.
I think you can just. I do believe you can just tell Windows in the Explorer, put that user folder on E. Because that would give you 139 gigs. Okay, here it is. This is from Microsoft. Okay, there are unintended consequences, it looks. Move your active users folder from your user account to the other. Use folders. Change default location. I'm just looking at various things. How to change default location of users. This is Windows 7 and 8 again. Gosh, I hate old stuff on the internet. This is from 2017. Let me look at something. That should be Windows 10. I think that's okay. I see all these cautions, but can I move C users to D drive? Let's see. This is from 2020. I just want to make sure that there's no consequence. I don't want to set you up. It says Windows does not like it when the user profile is on another partition. Using the data is easy. So maybe just move the desktop documents, music, all of that, instead of moving the profiles. So leave the users directory where it is, but you'll notice if you use WinDirStat that inside that 139 gigabyte users folder, you'll see the biggest thing is probably in your login, documents and videos and music and like that.
Yes.
And so those you can safely move. I am seeing some cautions about moving the users folder.
Okay.
So maybe don't do that. Moving, I think it will do the job. You'll get almost all of that 139 gigs if you just move the folders underneath your login.
Okay, so like music and stuff.
Yeah, by keeping I think it's the case that under users, whatever it is, users jack, and that's where all that stuff is. There's also profile information but Windows really wants to keep on the C drive. So you don't really want to move users or jack. You just want to move the stuff under jack. But that's where all the data is. So users / jack will stay where it is, but the documents, all that other stuff will move over.
Okay, so if I want to back my entire computer up, tell me your sponsor one more time, please.
iDrive.com. Use my name, Leo.
Okay, right. I gotta do that.
This would be a good time to do that. Actually, if you did that, then, well, yeah, you could. It takes a little while to do that, so do that and then move it. And just move I think it's completely safe to move documents, videos, music, those individual data files underneath your name. Those you can totally move over to E. You don't want to move. I think you don't want to move your account information over to E. I think Windows really wants to see that on C.
Okay.
That's the final assessment. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th. Take care. Johnny!
Leo!
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Getting excited. Going to Hawaii a week from Wednesday.
That's why I'm wearing my shirt.
I love it. Somebody's saying I have to go to the place where Anthony Bourdain bought a $3,000 Hawaiian shirt on Waikiki.
Oh, I've been there.
You have?
Yes. But this is where this is from.
Oh, well, tell me all about it. But here we go. Ha, ha, ha. He's been everywhere, man. He's looking at the label in his shirt, man. He's Johnny Jet, our traveling guy. He's wearing a beautiful Hawaiian shirt. Aloha, Johnny.
Aloha. I wore it in honor of your trip coming up. And
excited, yeah.
You know, I'm not 100% sure now this is where Leo got it. I'm not Leo. Anthony Bourdain got his shirt. But I did see that episode. And this is the most famous store. And I wasn't able to
like
turn
the
around and see what it
Waikiki
is.
Antiques and Hawaiian shirt store
No,
or
this is
something
not
like
it.
that.
This is not it.
No.
This is a different one.
Okay. It's a pretty shirt.
This is, I think, where all the Hawaiians go. It's...
What's it called?
You know what? I got to look it up.
Okay. Go ahead. You can tell me later.
Yeah, I'll tell you later. I don't want to take my shirt off on air.
No, that's probably better not
I don't want to scare people.
Even though it's radio, we don't want to scare anybody. Johnny, travel is back. Record-setting numbers this week from the TSA. Wow.
Big time. The last 2 days, we've actually had more people going through security checkpoints than in 2019. That is huge.
In other words,
yesterday.
more people are traveling post-pandemic than pre-pandemic.
Well, for this weekend, yes, for sure. I don't imagine they'll continue after this weekend, but we'll see.
There's been some speculation that it'd be like the Roaring 20s. You know, after the pandemic in 1918, the 20s, people went crazy after they got out of the pandemic. And there's some speculation people might do the same thing this time. Just party.
Well, leisure travel is back to where it was. It's business travel.
That's amazing.
International travel is down.
Well,
and
business
keep in mind,
has changed in general. I think a lot of people don't want to go back to the office, right?
A lot of people don't. I don't know if a lot of the employers like that, but some do. They're saving money, but we'll see. I think it definitely has changed a little bit, and I've spoken to people. A lot of people think that business travel will slowly come back in September, and then it will come back, in 2022, early 2022, big time. But once that happens, then these numbers are going to be crazy. But keep in mind, if you're trying to find a deal, especially for hotels right now, look for midweek at business hotels because they're not selling out. So that's where because on weekends, most hotels are now selling out. But during the week, where especially where big conferences were taking place, they're not. And you can find a really good deal.
It's the first time I've been glad, because, I've been in radio for decades. And in radio, you work on weekends. At least I do, because I'm a weekend guy. It's the first time I've been glad that my weekend is Thursday and Friday. Because we get great deals.
Totally.
Yep.
But that wasn't always the case. I mean, obviously, that's where all the business travelers were going.
Yeah. Unfortunately, for airfare, we used to get the worst deals. It was better to travel over a weekend, right?
I just saw a deal today in Travel Zoo, $199 for the San Francisco Hilton, including free parking. Free parking. Parking in San Francisco was like $60 at least.
Yeah, very expensive.
So,
yeah.
I mean, the prices are really down. But a couple things. One is I had a reader tell me, make sure that Leo does not wing it when he arrives at Honolulu because, all around the country, by the way, it's not easy to get an Uber or a Lyft. There's a shortage of drivers. They're surging. So splurge and get yourself a car service or have a friend pick you up or however you're going to do it. So let's get that out of the way. 2, I was supposed to fly to New York tomorrow with my family because then we were going to go to Canada. We're hoping to. We haven't been in 2 years almost.
Wow.
And we just had to cancel because the Canadians. We found out that I cannot get in, even though my wife is.
Oh, she's
Canadian.
allowed because she's Canadian, or no? She's not allowed.
Yeah, she's allowed in.
Yeah.
But
can the kids go? The grandkids are honorary Canadians, right?
Well, my son is actually an official Canadian. He got his citizenship
as
well, but my daughter not yet. But we can't get in, so we thought we could get in and they could just quarantine. We found out from officials, so we're waiting till the 21st because June 21st is supposedly when, they're definitely going to make an announcement on the 19th if the 21st is going to open. We're hoping if they do, boom. But this is the time now, by the way, to buy your tickets for wherever you're going for Christmas. I just bought mine for Canada last night because for 4 tickets from LA to Toronto was $650 for 4 people total, which is like a deal. So jump on those now. You're not going to find cheaper tickets like that if you're traveling, no matter where you're going. Look now for Christmas. I know a lot of people are like, things are up in the air, but if the flights get canceled, you'll get your money back. If you don't feel comfortable, most fares will allow you to take a credit for the following year. So make sure you read those fine prints. But one place where you can find a really good deal is internationally right now, and there's a new airline. Actually, it came out before the pandemic, but French Bee. Have you heard of these guys? French Bee? No. Yeah. So the website is FrenchBee.com. B-E.
Bee like Bumblebee?
Yep. And they used to fly L.A., Tahiti, and Paris. and that they fly San Francisco to Paris.
I don't know if I want to go on an airline named after a bumblebee. French Bee. I never heard of them.
It's a low-cost carrier, so they will get you on a lot of things. But they have tickets right now. New York to Paris, $139. San Francisco to Paris, I have it up on my computer, $189 in October. Over the summer, it's a little bit more. Yeah, it's $189 in October. For July, it's $392. Actually, August, they're not flying in July.
Wow, I could fly to Paris for $139 one way from New York.
And you'll see this from a lot of the airlines as well come the fall, because I think, again, they're trying to fill these planes.
But it's going to be an uncomfortable flight, right? There's not a lot of leg room. You're going to pay for carry-ons, that kind of thing.
But if you do want to fly comfortably, there is another French airline, La Compagnie, which is all business class.
Ooh.
And they usually fly really cheap. If you do it in advance, sometimes you can get deals for like 2 people for the price of one, like $1,200. So it's $1,100 each way, it looks like right now.
You can get it if you can spell La Compagnie, you get to go.
Big time. I mean,
Compagnie.
All lie flat. They fly out of Newark. So
nice.
But if you get yourself to Newark and you just go across the pond,
just get yourself to Newark. How many times have I said that? Go to Newark, young man. Okay, cool. I even never heard of La Compagnie.
No, they've been around for a while.
Yeah.
But keep in mind when you're flying an airline that's not a major carrier like American, Delta, United, Air France, all these other carriers, if something goes wrong, you could be there for a day or 2 or more. They don't have flights, every few hours.
Right.
Or at least a couple flights a day or whatever. And another thing, by the way, if you are traveling this weekend, I was just watching the news, LAX is like, get to the airport 2.5 hours early for domestic, 3.5 for... If you miss your flight, you most likely will not get on another flight right now because the airlines have all consolidated their flights. So there's not a lot of empty seats. So do not mess around. Get to the airport early and don't stress. And we talked about it before. Obviously, you want TSA pre, you want clear. They're not always open or offer it. So make sure you look in advance. So that's huge for traveling this weekend.
Bottom line of what you've just been saying, it's going to be a crazy summer. So
it is.
So plan for
full flights.
Delays and full flights.
Full flights.
Yeah.
And not having things the way you used to right away. You got to wear a mask. I've just read about a Brit in Singapore who's now facing jail time because he wouldn't wear his mask on the train, on the subway.
Just wear your freaking mask, guy.
It's like, I mean, especially in places like Singapore, you wear it.
Yeah. How hard is
you wear it
that?
everywhere. Just follow the local
rules. We got to wear pants. Got to wear a mask. It goes together.
Difficult.
It's not hard.
I just don't understand.
It's easier than wearing pants, actually.
Yeah.
You don't have to make a statement, and if you do, I guess if you do it in Singapore, you're gonna be seriously discommoded.
Yes, and you're not renting a car in Hawaii, correct?
No.
Okay,
no.
But a lot of people who are renting cars, one way where you not get ripped off by the car rental companies is make sure you get your gas 5 miles from the airport or wherever you drop off the car, and keep a printed receipt showing the address and the amount you paid and the fuel. That way they cannot charge you later.
He's good, man. That's Johnny Jet. Follow him at johnnyjet.com. His newsletter's there. You got to subscribe. It's free. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I have the freedom to wear pants. So we're going to Mexico in October. Now would be a good time to book, it sounds like.
You definitely want to book now.
He's disappeared. It's
Rayon
the amazing.
Spooner. Can you see that?
Oh, look at that. What does it say? Let me see. Wait a minute. Hold on. Rain Spooner. That's where the Hawaiians go, huh?
That's where they go, yeah.
The Hawaiians go to Rain Spooner shop. All right. American fashion design company, Rain McCullough and Ruth Spooner. All right. We're going to Rain Spooner.
It's like in downtown Honolulu. I spent a lot of time in there one day.
Perfect. I love Hawaiian
Definitely
shirts.
Go in there.
Yeah.
So you're going to Honolulu, correct?
Yeah, we're staying on Waikiki.
And you've never been?
Never been.
I'm going to be anxious to see how you feel about it. I unfortunately don't think you're going to love it because it's going to be crowded.
Yeah, and I've been to Hana. I've been to Old Hawaii and Kauai, and so I like Old Hawaii. But I
love crowds. I just don't see you loving crowds.
I wanted to see it. I wanted to go to Pearl Harbor. I want to see Diamond Head. You know, I want to do the touristy
did you get your tickets
stuff.
for Pearl Harbor?
We have a tour by local.
Okay, so you got that. Okay, because
so she's going to have
everything has to be reserved in advance.
Yeah, I'm sure we've already reserved with her, so I'm sure she's knows that and is going to take.
And your restaurants all reserved?
No, that's going to be a problem, huh? They should probably get on that.
It's too late. I'm afraid for the good ones.
Well, I don't.
You know what? I can try and get you in. I got some.
What's the good one?
There.
What is the good one?
There's a lot of good ones, and they're always changing. But I'll ask my buddy Nathan Cam, who does the tourism and he's a foodie. I got a buddy who lives near there. I might email him.
Just ask him.
They'll tell you. They'll tell you where. There's actually a really good place to eat right next door. I'll email it to you.
I don't eat fancy. I've never thought the food in Hawaii was that good.
These aren't
fancy. Honest with you.
They're not fancy.
Okay. I like the fish. Hey, have a great one. Thank you, Johnny.
You
See you next.
Are you on next week or no?
Yes. I am on next week. I'll see you then. I'm not in Hawaii yet. We don't leave till Monday that week.
Okay.
The 12th.
See you later.
Thanks, John. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888. Ask Leo the phone number. Let's talk tech. Storm's on the line from Gothwaite, Texas. Hello, Storm.
Hi, Leo. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I've been better.
Oh, no. What's the matter?
I've been hell with this machine of mine.
Yeah, that's normal.
I have a machine that's on 1909, and I'm being forced, to go to 2004 or 20H2.
Yeah, you have to, yeah.
Well, it fails every time it goes.
Uh-oh.
Okay, now this is with the automatic thing. It comes in, it fails, and then it restarts, it reverts, and goes back to what it was.
Interesting. So it really wants to keep you on 1909 no matter what. We're talking Windows 10, and 1909 is the version that came out in the fall of 2019, hence the name.
And it works really well. My computer has never worked this well. But now I can't do anything with it because, every so often that blue screen comes up, and in a half hour you're going to be... I can't get away from that.
So this can happen. One of the things that can happen, it's pretty common, is if a Windows update gets stuck, you can't go past it, and anything coming after it won't work. So the first thing to do is figure out if you have a stuck Windows update. This is a little complicated, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Tech Radar has a long article, but it's worth reading on how to fix a stuck Windows update. I'm going to put that in the show notes at techguylabs.com. Or you could just...
Let me give you one little piece of information.
Oh, that'll be good. Okay.
Okay. Anytime it does anything, it powers off, like I unplug it from the wall. I can't boot up from a USB. I was thinking because my computer doesn't have TPM.
So you don't get the black screen of death. You just get...
I get no power.
You get it's
off.
rebooting itself. Yeah, your Windows
it doesn't even come back on. It shuts off for an hour.
Yeah, your Windows is messed up. So let's hope it's just Windows and not a hardware issue.
So that's what I was afraid of. If I try and put on a brand new version of Windows and it's a hardware thing, then I might end up with no operating system. Or if I try to put on Linux and it's a hardware thing and it erases and gets stuck, then I'll have nothing. How do I know if it's a hardware problem?
Well, that's really the way to find out, isn't it?
Yeah,
So you have a backup of all your data first, right?
Yeah, I have everything backed up. I've done
Good.
scans and things that I've never heard of before I've done, and I still can't find out what's going on with this thing.
Well, I'm glad you've got it backed up, because worst case scenario, if there is a hardware issue, don't you want to know?
Yes, I want to know. I thought I had an old floppy drive in there that was making like a buzzy rattle sound. So I uninstalled it and I yanked it out of the case and everything. So it's gone. So it can't be the problem anymore, and then I do scans on stuff.
How old is this machine? If it had a floppy drive.
2006.
It's pretty old.
But it works good.
It's 15 years old. And I always say that how in dog years, 7 human years is 1 dog year. I would say at least 10 years per computer years. So it's at least 150 years old, maybe even more.
That means it's antique and it's worth more then, right?
I think honestly, it's very likely that what Windows is saying is, I can't update this, it's too old. Not that. And the power down is definitely, I think, a hardware issue. So
okay.
I think it might be time to get a new computer. I hate to say it.
I can't go to the next version of Windows 10. I was going to put Linux like Mint or Zorin or something on there.
Well, that's not a bad idea. A 15-year-old computer, Linux should run very well.
Because it powers down when I put the USB in there to do it.
Oh, yeah, you got some electrical issue. So you're saying when you put a USB... when you put a USB thumb drive in there, the computer goes...
Oh, I can play anything I want to, but when that goes into the BIOS and it says, would you like to try Zorin or would you like to install it? And I hit try Zorin, it hangs on there for like 2 minutes and then it shuts off. Completely powers off.
It sounds like it's overheating.
I try it.
Sounds like it's overheating.
Well,
So
it runs Becky and everything temperature-wise.
is it a laptop or a desktop?
It's a desktop.
Okay. So I would open it up, get all the dust out of there, make sure the fans are all working.
They're all working. I did this about a week ago. I
Okay,
cleaned
good.
everything out and
Okay, so that's good. That means that and everything's running properly. The other possibility, if you really wanted to keep this alive, it could be the power supply is getting flaky.
Good. You tell me more about that because that's what I was hoping it would be.
Yeah. Well, I can't promise you it is. That's the problem.
No.
The good news is it's not expensive, nor is it difficult in the tower case to replace the power supply. Okay. So get a good Corsair or something like that power supply. You'll have to get one that kind of fits your case. Who made your computer?
I had it made by Microtech out of California.
Okay, so it's probably a standard case then.
Yeah, it is.
So look at the power supply in there. You'll see it's don't open the power supply. You could electrocute yourself.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But you can remove the power supply from the case and replace it with a similar one.
Okay.
And then that might, 15 years, I wouldn't be surprised if the power supply was flaky.
But why would a different version of Windows make the power shut off when the version of Windows...
It's making it work. So So that's why I wanted you to clean it first, because it could be a thermal issue. It gets too hot. Okay. But you did that. You were smart. You already you've kind of gone down this checklist.
I've been 3 weeks.
Yeah. So look, the first thing that dies usually is a hard drive. So I generally tell people, if you want to keep a 15-year-old computer alive, part of the problem is that CPU, and you can't upgrade that. That thing is old enough that Microsoft... We know you can't run Windows 11, for instance. It's way too old for Windows 11. Right. Microsoft may have also said it can't run anything past 1909. They do this, and it's somewhat arbitrary because it would run fine, but they just don't want to have to support it. So it could very well be that Microsoft has decided. Now, I don't think it is, because if they did that, they should, in an orderly fashion, say, oh, I'm sorry. They shouldn't shut the computer off. They should say, oh, I'm sorry, but this isn't going to run. So there's something else going on. I think it sounds like the computer itself is because it's so long in the tooth, it's starting to get a little flaky. The things you want to replace that would certainly improve performance is the hard drive. Now, remember, to do that, you're going to have to start from scratch anyway.
Okay, well, I have 2 hard drives in there.
Oh, good. An SSD in there might make a big difference. It's such an old machine, it may not, because the bus might be so old. I think the power supply, power supply is under $100. It's an easy thing to replace. Get one that's the same wattage or more than the one you've got. If your power supply and they get old at 15 years, that's pretty long in the tooth. It might not be giving you enough power to keep things running. So when the hard drive gets going and the CPU gets going and everything starts to fire up, the power supply might go,
oh, okay.
And that does sound like what's happening because it's turning off.
Yeah, it's completely like I unplug it from the wall.
Yeah. I mean, you may find, though, that you're putting enough money into it at this point that it's cheaper to buy a new computer.
Right.
So you have to kind of do that math in your head. But if you say, look, no, I love old Bessie. She's been good to me all these years. I want to keep her alive. Then I would definitely look at replacing the power supply. That's my best guess as to what's going on. And I think if you want to get her to a point where she's running at a decent speed, maybe put one SSD in there just to see if you can get it a little bit faster. It'll boot faster and all that. And reinstall Windows. Or put Linux. I think Linux is an excellent choice. I wouldn't use Zorin.
I thought that would be great.
Yeah, try, for that machine, I would try, there are Linuxes designed for older machines like Xubuntu, Xubuntu. It's a version of Ubuntu designed for slower machines.
Okay.
That might be one to look at anyway.
Because I was thinking of either Mint, Zorin, or Ubuntu.
I like Mint and I like Zorin. If you're thinking about Ubuntu, look at Xubuntu, designed for slower machines. There's also there's Tiny Linux, Small Dog Linux. There are a variety of Linuxes designed for older machines. And generally speaking, there'd be better choices. They're going to use lighter weight desktop environments, things like that aren't going to slow you down as much. Linux, for those who are wondering what we're talking about, is a third operating system, not Mac, not Windows. It's free, it's open source, it's very, very, very good.
Is there any way to stop the blue screen and the 1 hour, half hour, we're shutting your machine down to update it? If I could stop that, I could still run the Plex player on there and everything would be fine.
And that's all you care about? Yeah.
Yeah. But I can't do anything if I know.
Here's a quick thing you could try. All of those updates are stored in a single folder.
Okay.
Okay. It's in the Windows. It's under the software distribution folder. There's a download. There's a download folder. Delete everything in there. That's the old updates, all the hot fixes. Then try the update. If there's one stuck, it might be your best bet. Get it fixed. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. More calls right after this. Microstamp says, why upgrade? It's like taking a rental car to a detail shop. Because she wants to run Plex on it, right? You like your Plex. You don't want to dump your Plex. It would be a good candidate, actually, Storm, for just like a media server.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Yeah, as long as it continues to run, that's a fine thing to do with it.
Well, one other thing, when it does this, it erases all my restore points.
Yes.
All the way back to December of last year.
Try just deleting what's in the software distribution downloads and doing that.
Okay. I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
I think that's really interesting. Storm, you're obviously a geek, so you've done a lot of the things one would look to. I think the power supply might really be what's going bad.
I think that'll be my last try, and then I've had it.
Yeah. A good power supply is not expensive, and it's an easy fix. It's just a screwdriver. You take the old one out. Just don't open it up. That's the main thing.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Storm. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, hey. How are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography. We got smartphones, we got smart watches, we got everything with a chip in it. We're talking tech at 8888. Ask Leo if you want to talk tech with me. 888-827-5536. That's toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. 8888. Ask Leo. You know, it's interesting. I'm just, here I am. I'm working in radio, have for the last 45 years. I love radio. It's a great medium. And when I started working in radio in the 70s, TV was kind of the thing, but radio still was pretty strong. And it survived through a big technology revolution. First, there was satellite radio. Remember, very famously, Howard Stern left broadcast, went to satellite for almost $500 million. And I guess, he's still there. I guess he's doing okay. He laughed. when people said, "Oh, you should do a podcast, Mr. Stern," he said, "That's ridiculous. Podcasting's silly." Then last year, a podcaster named Joe Rogan, former UFC commentator, took his podcast sort of private, kind of. It's like Howard Stern moving from radio to satellite. Joe Rogan moved his podcasts to Spotify. Spotify exclusive for, it is said, $100 million. New York Times business section today has an article about Joe Rogan. It says, "Too big to cancel. He's one of the most consumed media products on the planet." That's an example of how technology changes things. Radio to satellite to podcasts in just a matter of a decade or two. Suddenly the biggest thing is podcasting. I just find it fascinating. He says his podcasts are downloaded 190 million times a month. He says, I should point out, not Nielsen or Arbitron or any third-party rating system. But he has, he's interviewed some very, very famous people. The Times quotes a 20-year-old student at Oklahoma State. "We worship this guy. I would do anything to do what he does." Oh, that's interesting. This is what we talk about, technology and the way it has changed the world. 8888 Ask Leo. And not just, the computer on your desk or in your car, but really life itself has dramatically changed. Brian on the line from Rancho Cucamonga. Hi, Brian. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hey, Leo. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Oh, I don't know. It depends on your answer.
Oh, what's the matter?
Oh, no. So I'm staring at my neighbor's house right now that I have decided is the greatest movie projector screen I could ever have.
Wait a minute. Do the neighbors know about this?
They do not, but they never will. There's no windows on this side. They've got 3 sheds lined up that they never go to, so they will never know.
They'll never know that you are watching movies on the side of their house. Now, is it a flat surface? It's not shingles or anything?
Nope, it's a flat stuccoed surface.
Nice. Okay. Stucco might be a little problematic, but okay.
So what I'm wondering, it's not white. It's kind of I guess you'd call it a grayish, light gray.
Light gray might be okay. So movie screens, as you know, are usually white. And in fact, they go beyond that. They have often reflective materials in them. You can buy, and if your neighbors aren't paying any attention, you could use projector screen paint. They sell it. That has this reflective material in it and makes it a brighter picture. It won't. So the gray is neutral, so it won't ruin the picture, but it will mean it's not as bright, and whites won't be white. They'll be gray. But they won't. They might be usable.
Is there a projector that will help to contrast out the gray with white?
The brightest projector you can get is the answer.
Okay.
How far away from the projector would the house be?
Where I'm going to be sitting, I'd say 25 foot.
I shouldn't really help you with this. So 25 feet is a... I mean, honestly...
Over for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, just invite them over. Say, hey, look, we're watching the Super Bowl on your house. Right. So 25 feet is a fairly distant screen for a TV projector. You may be pricing yourself out of the picture here, because you're going to want to get a very expensive projector.
At this point, as I've told my wife, with the remodel of the backyard, it's only money at this point.
Well, there are projectors. What you're looking for is something called a long throw projector, and you're looking for one that's bright. 1,000 lumens would be nice. That's going to be a little hard to get. But, I mean, if you think about it, your movie theater, 25 feet, that's, at least, right, from the projector to... But your movie theater, if it's running, a DLP projector, the kind that you would want, you're not going to have film reels. If they're running a digital projector, they're spending maybe $10,000 to $50,000 at least on that. Getting a nice big Runco, for instance, projector. But there are, Epson makes a long throw projector that has 3,300 lumens. That's pretty bright. The home cinema, and that's not expensive. It's $600. Are you gonna? One thing you're gonna want is to get the projector as much as possible pointing at the middle of the house, or the middle of the picture, not the middle of the house, the middle of where you want the picture, because you don't want. Okay. Most of these will have a skew feature where you can turn a dial and it'll skew the picture a little bit. But if the projector is not shooting exactly perpendicularly to the house, then to the screen, then the screen will be keystone a little bit. The picture will be keystone a little bit. So you want ideally to have, if you think about it, the house is a straight up and down vertical plane, and you will want to have the projector perpendicular to the center of that image as best you can. I would look at you know what, this isn't that expensive. The Epson Home Cinema, it's a 1080p projector, that's fine. 3,300 lumens, that's pretty bright. I think you're going to get a good result out of that. It's got very good white brightness, and that's not expensive. It's about $600.
Oh, perfect. My wife won't kill me after all.
Oh, yay. Now, the other thing you could do is get a drone. No, never mind.
Well, I went through that, Leo. My dad broke my drone. I was using it to chase the birds off my pole line.
You're good. You're a do-it-yourselfer, Brian. I could tell. I love it. There are lots of companies. You know, this would be a good question for Scott. Lots of companies that make long-throw projectors designed for, you know, a lot of them are designed for outdoor use, to be honest. You're going to bring it in. You're not going to leave it out in the outside. But, you know, I'm looking at a projector that has a 10,000 lumen projector. Just the brighter the bulb, the more expensive it's going to get. That's all.
Okay.
Hey, have fun. I hope your neighbor never finds out. How would your neighbor know, right? They were not going to know.
Exactly.
Unless they go for a walk and they see Bill Murray projected 8 feet tall on the side of their house. Why would they know?
You have a wonderful 4th of July, Leo.
You too. It sounds like you're planning one. Now, you might want drones for the surround sound, because the speaker system, you know, you're going to have to do that. That's another issue entirely. I love our audience. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Oh, well. Joseph on the line from Riverside, California. Hello, Joseph.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling. What's up?
I'm actually trying to do some online classes.
Good.
Sponsors.
Good.
By IT Pro TV, and I was wondering for a recommendation for a Chromebook.
Oh, nice. So one of the great things about these online classes now is all you need is a browser, which means a Chromebook is fine. You don't need a fancy Windows machine. In fact, IT Pro does this, and I'm sure others do as well. It's IT Pro TV, itpro.tv. They allow you to do practice labs with your just your browser alone, and they have virtual Windows PCs and virtual Windows servers you can set up, and you can do that all on a Chromebook. So, what's your budget on the Chromebook?
As right now, it doesn't matter because it'd be for school. So
nice. My favorite Chromebook is the Acer Spin. Acer is making really good Chromebooks these days. ACER SPIN, and the model number I think is 713. And actually, I'm not alone. A lot of people consider this one of the best. Now, it's also one of the most expensive. It's up around $600. You could you could certainly spend less. Not a bad price though for what you get. It's a nice aluminum chassis. It's got a high-powered processor. It is going to be a very powerful machine. And because it's a Chromebook, it's secure, it's manageable. It's really, I think, a nice system. And I don't think you really need Windows because they have the virtual Windows, so you can do everything you would want to do that way as well.
Right.
So take a look at the Acer Chromebook Spin. I think that would be my recommendation.
Awesome.
Hey, that's great. What do you want to do?
IT, obviously.
What part? What? Yeah, but there's more than that. Just IT. Right. What kind of IT?
Honestly, I'm thinking more cybersecurity. But right
Perfect.
Now I'm going to start learning A+ Basic.
Yeah, start at the beginning. Yeah.
I know a lot about technology, but I think basics is always best.
Yes. Start. Almost everybody starts with the A+ certificate. That shows you can do desktop support. That's kind of an entry-level job. But I think networking and security are both really hot fields right now. Cybersecurity, you're guaranteed a job. I really think. If you're good at it, man, the sky's the limit.
Hopefully
Right?
I'll get good at it.
Plus, it'll be exciting.
They're great teachers.
Might be a little stressful. Yeah, good. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, they've been a sponsor since they started. I think they're a great little company.
Yeah, that's the
Not
reason
so
why
little.
I got into them because
Oh,
I
good.
listen to you and I view you. 10 screensavers, so.
Oh, man. Nice to meet you, Joseph. What are you doing now? You want to get in a new career, right? What are you doing now?
Right. I work at a casino.
Yeah. So are you a dealer, a security guard, a bartender?
A technician.
Technician. So you do a little IT.
Right.
You're doing some technical stuff. Good. Good. Well, Joseph, good luck to you.
And can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
That's another recommendation, though.
Yeah.
My niece is going to college, and she wants to be an engineer.
Awesome.
What type of laptop would you recommend for her?
Probably Windows. I mean, what kind of engineering?
I think it's more RAM-based, just to buildings.
Buildings. Okay.
Yeah.
I would take a look at a Lenovo or a Dell if I were you.
Okay.
And I think there's some very good choices in there. Lenovo Thinkpads, to me, are the best made computers out there. I just think they're rock solid. They're really good. And they have a variety of form factors. You can get the really thin and light if you want the X1 Carbon, or even the thinner and lighter X1 Carbon Nano. Or you can get something a little bit more robust, a little more industrial, with the T series. They really have some good choices, but stick with the ThinkPads from Lenovo.
All right, Lenovo.
Yep. Thanks, Joseph.
All right.
Really a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, and enjoy
Thanks.
your vacation.
And congratulations. Good luck on your new career. Because I know you're going to have one. I think you're going to do very well. That's nice. Andrew from Ventura, California. Hi, Andrew. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I got a question about my DJI drone. Oh, man, I love that thing. But first, a really short question.
Okay.
It's still tech. I hear you on the radio in KFI Los Angeles.
Yes, the mothership.
I listen on iHeartRadio.
Yes.
There are all kinds of delays and other stuff happening in the background. Is that because of advertising in the meantime?
That's right.
What's going on there?
So the way it works with broadcast radio, when you listen to a broadcast radio stream, is most advertisers only pay to be on the radio. They don't want to pay for the stream. I mean, KFI will sell it to you, but it costs more. Plus, if you're not listening, you are listening in the KFI listening area. But if you were listening in Croatia, advertiser, a car dealership in Ventura is not going to care if somebody's listening in Croatia, so they don't want to broadcast the ad to them. So they with streams, it's always the case. Some ads are blanked, some ads are replaced. It varies, and so that changes things a little bit in the middle of the stream. That's because you're listening to a broadcast stream. Now, you should know iHeart offers a podcast version of this show, as do I, at our podcast site, twit.tv. Those are ad-free and unmodified in any way. So that's certainly a more efficient way, but it's not live, so you can't really call in. But if you wanted the easy way to listen at your convenience, check out the podcast. That's why podcasts, I think, are very popular. It's just more convenient.
Wonderful to know. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And on that last call, you were talking about the Lenovo. I bought a Lenovo with a Core i7 for $50 at a garage.
Oh, nice. The nice thing about the old ThinkPads, you could easily upgrade the keyboard, the screen, everything, the trackpad. They were really easy to work on. So, yeah, I think Lenovo's... Now, that's kind of changed, as it has with all laptops, as we pushed for thinner, lighter laptops. They're not as easily repaired. So an older Lenovo might even be a better choice. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Sorry, we ran out of time, but I'm still on the podcast, so continue with your question. So which DJI do you have?
I've got the not the newest one, but it's the Mavic Zoom.
It's a great. My son uses DJIs too.
gosh.
I love those drones. Yeah.
I'm so impressed with DJI. I did a lot of reading and studying and asking people before I bought it. And DJI is incredible. They've got stuff that fits in the palm of your hand, and they've
It's amazing.
got stuff
I know.
carries agricultural sprayers.
I know.
That's a lot of weight.
I think, they're remarkable. Really remarkable what they're doing. And, of course, there are a lot of other great drum makers. They're not the only one, but DJI really is dominant, isn't it?
I was watching a video on how they're made in the factory, and when they are made, they scan a QR code, and they fly off one end.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Piece of the assembly line to the next.
Oh, I have to watch that.
They're done.
That's so really cool. Well, yeah, if they can't fly, they can't sell them, so it seems fair. That's a good way to test it.
So, I'm trying to get it to go to. Here's my ultimate question for the day. I'm trying to get to live stream to YouTube.
Right.
Now, in my life, I've got my own website, as do many people. And all the way back in 1995, I said to myself, I'm not going to share my login with anybody else. So if I sign up with somebody like Disney, my email would be disney@mywebsite.com.
Yes, I do the same thing. Yes, I do exactly the same thing.
Selling my email.
That's exactly right. I do the same thing exactly. If you could, that's one really good reason to have your own domain so you can control that.
So one of my logins is youtube@mysite.com, and that's great.
Yeah.
So I've got a channel, and I've got stuff going on. And one of my other emails is DJI at mywebsite.com.
Me too.
I said what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I never say mine either because I don't want to give that away. Yeah, I don't want anybody to know that address. Yeah.
It almost just rolled off my tongue. So, but I'm trying to get where I can live stream the drone to my channel.
Yeah.
And what's happening is I can't log in to my...
It doesn't like that YouTube at your site.com address. Is that why?
I can't log in. It takes me to Google, and I go around in a circle, and I just can't get there from here.
Wow, that's interesting. Do you think it's because... No, it's not going to be the email address. So the problem with, in general, with logging in that way, Google doesn't let you log in direct. Normally, they'll do what's called OAuth. They'll pop up a web picture, which is coming from Google of your login, and you'll log in that way. But I don't think you're getting that, right? So I think what you might have to do is what's called an application-specific password. Google, for some apps, will generate a app-specific password. It's only going to be used by that DJI app. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Okay, I'm following. I'm taking notes.
Are you using two-factor on Google?
Unfortunately, I have to.
Yeah, that's all right. Not unfortunately.
Some places yes, some places no. Like the IoT stuff doesn't like the two.
Yeah, I know, but you want to use that. So if you could just Google it, believe it or not, and say Google app passwords, for instance. It'll take you to the Google page that lets you create specific passwords for specific apps. That probably will solve this. So instead of using, when it asks you to log in, you'll still use youtube@mysite.com, but instead of using your Google password, you use this password that Google has generated from you. It's in the Google account under security.
I'm looking for Google specific password?
Yeah. Just if you go to security under your Google account, which is myaccount.google.com/security, you'll see that you can create an app password. Try that in the DJI app. I got to run. But I think that's how they solve that. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number on the line now from Knoxville, Tennessee. Jeff. Hello, Jeff.
Hello, Leo. You and I have spoken in the past. I'm a Santa Claus.
Oh, yes. I know you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm laying in a hospital bed because I've got a number of medical issues, and I refuse to go out and expose myself to COVID.
Good.
This last Christmas.
Good. We can't afford to lose you, Santa, and you'll be okay for December, I hope. Yes?
Well, it's the first time in 30 years I didn't go out and be Santa, and two of the photographers I worked with, one of them got a light case of COVID. He hired a part-time Santa who he and his whole family got COVID.
Oh, no. Santa must not get COVID.
And I didn't. And if it's still around this coming Christmas, I'm not going to do it. I've got over 36 different costumes.
We should tell all the little ones listening, though, that don't worry, Santa will still deliver the gifts. He just may not be available to sit in his lap because he doesn't want to get sick.
Well, you'd be surprised how many kids come up to me and say, "You're Santa Claus. What's my name?" I said, "Oh, my gosh, you've forgotten your name again. I guess I'll have to pass your house."
No, it's Joey. It's Joey, Santa. I know it, really, Santa.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how quick they come up with their name. But anyhow, I've still got the problems that I've had in the past. Incidentally, if I were 50 years younger, I'd be chasing Kim. She is gorgeous.
Oh, Kim! Now you got a little admirer under Santa's got a little crush on Kim. I know we love Kim. She's laughing.
Yeah. Now, what I want to know is, I've got 3 computers now, plus a laptop. Plus a tablet, and somehow in all of my activity, I have misplaced somewhere my passwords. I can't figure out how to get back into my computer.
Oh, no, that naughty and nice list. Oh, no, this could be a crisis. Is it what kind of tablet is it?
Well, I've got, because I've been a health insurance agent, one of my educators told me I had to have an iPad, so I got an iPad, and I haven't used it in quite some time.
So what you forgot is that 4-digit code that opens the iPad up. Is that it?
Yeah. Yep. I've got all of those that I've mistakenly put away, and I can't find them, and so I don't know what to do. Is there any way that I can shut everything down and start over from scratch? And I did have, at your insistence, quite some time ago, several years ago, I did get one of your advertisers, iDrive. So somewhere up in the iDrive, I still exist, but I don't know how to get to any of that.
Well, there's okay, because it's all on the iPad. All right, so let's see. Let's first get you into your iPads, okay? So there is no way to bypass that code. Apple's pretty good about preventing that, and you may remember the FBI was demanding that they do that some time ago with the San Bernardino incident. And
calling is Santa Claus.
Yeah. Wait, Santa Claus should be able to get in. But anyway, Apple said, no, we can't. And the FBI said, yes, you've got to. And Apple said, we can't. The FBI did find a company that was able to crack into the device. But that was just to get the data off the device. If you don't need your data, if you've got your data backed up, and for most of the stuff you do on an iPad, Apple's already backing it up to iCloud. Do you still remember your Apple account information? That's really the critical thing, how you log into your iCloud account.
No, I don't remember virtually anything about that, so I was wondering if there's a way to get into my HP and Dell laptops. Is there any way I can? That's more significant to me presently, because that's where I've got my iDrive set up as well.
Yeah, because you'll probably have, so there you'll have a backup, and Apple will have a backup. There is a process if you've forgotten your Apple code, which is to go to iforgot.apple.com, and you can reset your password. Once you do that, then you can reset the iPad and get to use it again, but all the data that's on the iPad will be lost. Now, let's get you into your HP. So you can't remember the login for your computer either.
Remember anything?
Oh, Santa.
I've got all sorts of children's names.
I know you got all that in there, but you're not alone. This is, I would guess, my most common question is I forgot my password and I can't get into my computer. So tell me about that HP Windows 10.
Yeah. Actually, every what I've got is Windows 10. I went to that Windows 10 and I had Geek Squad, and they couldn't do anything for me, so I got them to remove that 10S and go back to 10.
So almost certainly then you created the login with a Microsoft account. So this is good. This is one of the things Microsoft has started requiring. In fact, there's some upset about this because in Windows 11 you're going to have a Microsoft account. But that's okay, because one of the reasons Microsoft does this is because people so commonly forget their password. And if you have a Microsoft account, they can help you recover the password. So that's the first thing I would suggest you do. It's similar. Remember, I told you the Apple I forgot login. There's a similar process to reset your password on your Microsoft account.
Do I have to call Microsoft?
Yeah, you're going to have to. Well, there's maybe not. If you have any way to get email, they will send you a new password via email. You'll have to verify your identity, etc. Can you get email anywhere else? Do you have a way to get email?
I do get some emails through my T-Mobile hotspot.
Well, it has to be the email you used when you set up your Microsoft account.
Yeah, okay.
So that's not probably your T-Mobile account. But Microsoft does have a process to reset your Microsoft account. If you can't reset it via email, there is a Microsoft account recovery form you can fill out.
Okay.
So, and in that case, it is a little bit more complicated. You will have to call Microsoft. They'll have to verify you are who you say you are and all of that stuff, right?
Okay.
So if you go to support.microsoft.com, you'll need a computer to do this. Maybe somebody in the family can help you. And look for the password reset, the Microsoft account password reset. You'll see the steps that you have to go through. You can even Google Microsoft account recovery form, and that will take you straight to that page. And then you can go through that. Yeah, you will need a working email, but the T-Mobile one will be okay. It doesn't have to be your Microsoft email. And there will be a form that you have to fill out. They make it hard because not everybody is as sweet and kind as Santa. And so they want to make sure hackers don't use this system to get into your stuff. So that's why they make it so stringent. All the companies do this. Apple, Microsoft, Google, everybody does this. They make it hard because if they made it easy, well, bad things would happen. So be prepared to jump through a number of hoops, but they do have a process. And this is exactly what's happening with Windows 11. They're making it so that you cannot create a password on Windows 11 that isn't associated with your Microsoft account. And I think that's probably the number one reason they're doing this, is because people forget. And so Microsoft wants to have a way to recover it. Apple has a similar process, which you could use on your iPad as well. Merry Christmas in July, Jeff. I hope you feel better, and I hope you stay away from little kids bearing COVID. But I also hope that by December, all of this is over and Santa can hold his regular office hours. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy. It's Disco Dickie DeBartolo dancing into our studios. He is a master of the disco move, but he's also our gizmo wizard, our gizwiz, and for more than 5 decades, Mad Magazine's maddest writer. How does he do it all? I don't know. Are you cloned? How do you do it all? How do you do it?
Most people ask, why do you do it all?
Hello, Dickie.
Because I want to.
How are you? I look forward to this every week because you're a great friend, and you're wearing, it looks like a very nice Hawaiian shirt.
Oh, yes, because you're going to Hawaii. I have surfboards. So, oh, no. Leo, I had a pineapple ring on each shoulder. But they fell off.
General DeBartolo, to you, exactly. Sir.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't wait. Now, I'll be here next week, but we're going to
okay, very good. So you're going to Hawaii, and you have to remind me, are you and Lisa staying in a tent?
No.
Oh, I totally misunderstood.
We will be staying in something called a condo. I hear it's the latest thing.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, I have something for summer fun that would also work out great for a tent. I think it's really neat. It is a LED light with a built-in fan. It's cordless. It has a 7,800 milliamp
That's a big
battery.
fan.
Yeah. And it also has DC out, so you can charge devices with it.
Holy
but
cow.
wait, there's more.
This thing is amazing. So it's a camping thing.
It's a camping thing, okay? It has a built-in hook so that you can
hang it from the tent. Yeah. Have you
hang it
ever,
from the tent or,
just out
or
of
from a
curiosity,
branch.
have you ever camped in a tent?
Are you kidding me? Never.
You're the
Never.
ultimate New Yorker.
You know, I went with a group of boaters up the Hudson and to some park, and they were setting up tents and everything. And they said, "Are you setting up a tent?" And I said, "No, I'm going to take a shower, and then I'll come over for dinner."
I'm not camping.
I know. I
What
have
are
a
you,
boat
crazy?
with TV and everything. Yeah. But if you are camping,
yes.
And one other thing I thought was so neat when I opened the box, there's a little remote control in there.
Yes, because you've got it hanging from the peak of your tent. That way you don't have to get up to turn the fan down or turn the light off. That's
or to
nice.
turn the light off. Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's even a timer in the remote control, so you can shut everything off in 2 hours, 3 hours, or 5 hours.
This is a very nice. So it would run for 5 hours as a fan?
No, well, you can let it shut off after 5 hours. So it depends. On their website, they'd said, depending on like low light, you'll have like 40 hours.
Oh,
low
wow.
fan, you'll have 25 hours.
It lasts a good long time.
Yeah, everything on together, you'll probably
What's
have
the
6
clicking
hours.
I'm hearing? What is that?
Oh, the clicking, Leo, it's very clever. So that you can set it facing any way you want.
Oh, that's a
The
stand.
handle-
Oh.
Yes, and it's ratcheted. So if it's hanging, you can ratchet it so it's setting exactly where you want it to
perfect.
hang.
You know what? That is a great camp light. And I like the fan built in. That's great.
Yeah.
It's
and
been
it's
really
30
hot in your tent in New York City, hasn't it?
Well, you know what? We had tremendous thunderstorms yesterday. Right now it's 67.
Nice.
It was 97 2 days ago.
I do miss that. When I grew up back east, you would get all this heat, and then it would break with a thunderstorm, and it would cool off. That was
tremendous.
Love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I miss that.
Dennis too. He's sitting at his window. Oh, another lightning strike. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Meanwhile, you're under the bed cowering with the dog. Yes, I understand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, the dog needs company.
Yes, that's exactly right.
I had to be under the bed.
So this is the X10 portable camping fan and LED lantern. Now, how much would you pay? That's the
I
question.
paid 28 something. So
Nothing.
it's under $30.
That's a good deal.
I think it is too. I think
There
it
is a link to the Amazon page for this at Dick's website, gizwiz.biz. It comes in orange or black. I kind of like the orange.
I do too.
Yeah. It looks serious.
Yeah, it looks serious. It looks like if there's an emergency, you have your orange go-to light with the built-in LED flashlight. I think it's pretty neat too.
It looks like, and I like the stand because you don't have to hang it from the tent. You could have it in the park with you, or even in your house, I guess. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can charge gadgets for it, or it's USB-C, so you can also charge it from a computer or run it from an external battery pack.
Nice. For more information, go to Dick's website, gizwiz.biz. There's a big button that says the Giz Wiz visits the tech guy, and then all the stuff that he mentions on our show, it shows up there. There's also a big button that says, "What the heck is it?" The "What the heck is it" contest
Yes, the new
on.
game starts.
So you got to tell us at the end of the month. A couple of days ago, you told the world what this thing
you know
was.
what?
What was it?
50 people knew.
Oh, I would have never guessed this.
Oh, okay. Mostly, I guess they all refer to my wife, a lot of my grandmother. It was an automatic needle threader.
An automatic needle threader.
Okay, so one side took very thin needles, one side took larger needles. Then in the back, there was a little tab that you wrapped a piece of thread around. Then you slid the slider across, and it pushed the thread into the needle, the eye of the needle.
That's kind of amazing. I would never have guessed. I'm surprised 50 people guessed that.
Yes.
People knew
but
it.
Of course, the most fun is the... my favorite answer was, you place this on your forehead and it projects your thoughts in 3D.
I'd buy that.
Yeah.
Scooter X knew it. So How many people? Eight Mad magazines went out?
Six people. We did a random count and got 6 people with the right answer. And then there were a dozen people with silly, funny answers.
18 autographed
copies. And that's
copies.
the new one.
The new one, which just started July 1st. Boy, I don't know. It's a close-up of a gadget. If you can identify it, you'll be in the drawing for an autographed copy of Mad Magazine. You don't even have to get it right. Just clever. The wrong answer if it's clever enough.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. GIZWIZ.biz. That's his website. Don't forget gizwiz.tv, which is his podcast as well. Dick, we're going to give you the afternoon off. What are you doing for the 4th? There are fireworks this year, aren't there, in New York City?
Yes, there are.
Hallelujah.
Probably just going to just watch them on TV because they're in the East River. And
you used to go out, take your boat out in the Hudson.
Yeah.
Watch it through the buildings, but you'd put a TV right at the point where you...
a little 12-volt TV, stand on the roof of my tugboat.
And you would watch the fireworks go from the TV into the real sky, and you get a full experience that way.
Exactly. It was like attaching a thing to my head and seeing the fireworks in 3D.
Sounds like too much work. So this time you're just going to stay at home and watch it on TV.
Sit in front of the television.
Yeah,
exactly.
It was weird last year because of COVID. They did these like pop-up fireworks and
but
stitched
Leo,
them together.
the finale was the best thing I ever saw.
On the Empire State Building. It was incredible.
Yes, all 4 sides of the Empire State Building.
Do you think they'll do that again?
I
probably not.
Doubt it.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
No.
Well, enjoy your 4th. I'll see you next week here, okay?
Excellent, buddy. You have a
Stay
good week,
cool.
too. Okay. Take care.
All right. Thank you. Dick DeBartolo, gizwiz.biz. I'm done for the day. Thank you, Professor Laura, our musical director, to Kim Schaffer, our phone angel. Thanks to you for listening. Have a wonderful 4th of July. I'll see you next week. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Have a safe Geek Week. Don't play with fireworks, kids. But go ahead, play with your computer. It's okay. And we'll be here to save you from that next week. Bye-bye. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, TWiT, T-W-I-T. It stands for This Week in Tech, and you'll find it at twit.tv, including the podcasts for this show. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on MacBreak Weekly, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches on iOS Today, security on Security Now. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And, of course, the big show every Sunday afternoon, This Week in Tech. You'll find it all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next week with another great Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.